You wouldn't know it if you've been sweltering in the heat for weeks now, but the summer officially began just last week, with the solstice on June 21st marking the day when the sun travels along its northernmost path in the sky. And for many, it's already been like the oven has been cranked on with the door flung wide open. Texas and much of the southern United States will break records and strain power grids while millions struggle to keep cool. And those in the Midwest and North will still be warm in the upper 80s while also grappling with the choking smoke of the Canadian wildfires. So what's going on? From relentless heat to wet bulb conditions to struggling to breathe, we have some real problems in our future already, and summer has only just begun. In this video, I'm going to focus on what we can learn from Texas and the South this week, because the time is coming when you're not going to be able to ignore this problem, which I'll explain what I mean in just a moment. I'll also provide you with a few tools and some advice you're going to want to hear before the heat gets turned up too much in your region, because summer has just begun. In this video, I'm also going to do one of the biggest giveaways yet, and I'll announce a winner of our last giveaway, so you're not going to want to miss that. Texas and the South. What's happening in Texas and the South is just a glimpse of the future for many of us. The impact will be felt by all of us everywhere. Texas is currently amidst a severe heat wave with triple-digit temperatures shattering multiple records, surpassing even the hottest locations on the planet. Cities like San Angelo and Del Rio, they've reached and exceeded 110 degrees Fahrenheit, comparable to temperatures in northern Africa and the Middle East. Now, the state's power grid is under strain with record-breaking energy demands due to the increased air conditioning use. Stagnant high-pressure systems have fueled dangerous heat and humidity across most of Texas, prompting local officials to issue warnings and urge precautions. If you stretch this band of hot weather out from the West Coast through Texas and over to the East Coast, you can see the bigger picture of how this seemingly isolated event will begin to impact us all. In the West, the extreme heat will worsen the multi-year mega drought and create conditions where crops and livestock struggle even as water restrictions are enforced. Now in the East, the heat coupled with high humidity will create what's called a wet bulb condition, where the human body is incapable of cooling itself through its usual means of perspiration. I'm going to link to a free tool from the National Weather Service in the comments below, where you can find out if these wet bulb conditions will impact your area. Simply select the second drop down, which will read maximum temperature, and then change it to wet bulb glow temperature, and use the day bar to the right of that to determine your forecast. And you should definitely consider avoiding the outdoors if your area is in the high or extreme category. I would encourage you to bookmark this tool, because you'll need more of a heads up and understanding of weather in your area rather than just what the news meteorologists are providing you. They're still struggling with new terms for the radical and extreme weather that we're now experiencing. Threat assessment. As we've covered in a few other videos, these weather extremes will threaten your infrastructure, your health, and resources regardless of where you live. You should be assessing these threats and plugging in solutions with your preps to offset their impact on you and your community. Let's examine each as they relate to this current event. Infrastructure. As many are coming to find out, our infrastructure systems are built only to endure occasional short spikes of demand in extreme weather. If the power lines sag a little from the heat of a day or two while demand temporarily spikes, that can probably be absorbed with a bit of load balancing and force customer cutbacks on usage. However, when that extreme weather lasts for multiple days or a week and consumer demand stays high while those same power lines sag even more, brownouts and blackouts become more probable. Sometimes those are forced on people in the form of intentional rolling blackouts. Still, often they are brought on because of catastrophic failures in a system intended to function with more stable parameters of operation and demand. And whether the extreme weather is sustained by high winds, heat, and drought in the West resulting in downed power lines, sparking out of control wildfires, or sweltering heat that hangs over your area and strains your infrastructure systems beyond their capacity, you can expect municipal services to be interrupted. Just the power going out can impact other infrastructure systems, from communication to public transport to natural gas and water pumping stations. When a central cog of the system fails, it impacts all the other working parts. Industry grinds to a halt as businesses and schools close. Transportation and delivery stop. There are a host of problems stemming from these potential weather-induced failures. If this week is any glimpse of our future with this, you need to prep like you will have to go without many of these vital services for more than just a few hours, as you might after a severe storm. Ask yourself how you'll get by without these services if they are down for a week or more. Do you have the food and water you need to get by if the stores are closed? Do you have a backup power of any kind? Can you control the temperature of at least one room in your house after the power goes down? Health. According to the CDC, the U.S. experiences an average of 702 heat-related deaths annually. The National Weather Service has highlighted that heat-related deaths surpass those caused by tornadoes, floods, and hurricanes in the country. The recent extreme temperatures have already significantly impacted people's health, as evidenced by a 30% increase in emergency room visits attributed to heat compared to the same period last year. Let's not forget the air quality challenges presented by the current Canadian wildfires or the wet bulb conditions many will experience in the southern United States. These extreme weather events are challenging our environmental control systems, where we create a personal environment where we can live. Can you imagine not having an air condition in 110-degree Phoenix, 100-degree Fort Worth, Memphis, Huntsville, or Pensacola? Yet, this will become increasingly more probable throughout the summer and in the future. The heat is not going to go away after the sun sets either. Overnight heat waves are occurring with even greater frequency, creating problems for anyone without electricity. Modern construction, like our infrastructure, is built to withstand short duration spikes, but not prolonged ones. We're going to need to rely more and more on our body's ability to regulate temperature and our enhancements like fans or misters or cool, wet sheets just to create a livable environment. For the sake of your health, take a look at our video on how to survive a summer power outage and heat wave so you know what to do to keep cool and survive. Now, this week's giveaway, you're not going to want to miss. I'm going to be giving away a Pecron E600 LFP portable power station. When the power goes down in your area, you still want to keep some lights on with this small but powerful 1200 watt portable power station. To be eligible for a chance to win, all you have to do is post a comment below and click the thumbs up icon. And in the following video, I'll use a tool to draw a winner from the comments on this video randomly. Just make sure you have your email address on the About tab of your YouTube profile so I can contact you when you win. That's the only way I can reach out to you, and I'm only going to reach out to you if you are the winner and your name appears in our next video. Please note that. If your name doesn't appear on the screen, that's not me in the comments section. I've been getting spammed lately. A lot of people have been using my logo, but it's not me. Now, the last video's winner of the set of emergency fire blankets is a subscriber, the Death by Fire. That's an ironic name for that one, right? Congratulations. I will contact you shortly to get that sent out to you. Resources. Beyond these generator resources we pay more for every year despite their lack of reliability, these stagnant weather patterns from a weaker jet stream mean that these extreme conditions are more intense and they linger longer than they have in the past. That means they will also take a heavy toll on our natural resources. We don't often consider that when we open up our refrigerator and grab a snack or put on our tap to get a drink of water. Extended periods of relentless heat can be deadly for crops and herds. Such extreme and prolonged weather events, they directly affect our food supply. Currently, these impacts are seen as just occasional shortages and higher prices, but as the events become more frequent and widespread, they pose overwhelming and systematic threats to our food security. We've seen this play out in many other parts of the world for several years as global hunger levels rise due to extreme weather. You can expect this will get a lot closer to home as these extreme weather events become the norm. One example of this extreme weather impacting food supply is grabbing headlines is the sriracha pepper food shortage. It's impacted me personally, and so this one definitely, it hit home really hard because I cannot find it in our area where we live. Several years of especially dry conditions in Mexico have caused pepper crops to fail. And this has forced the sauce maker to reduce production and spiking demand. The cost of a large $10 bottle has shot up over 100% in recent days. You can expect to hear more similar stories as extreme prolonged weather becomes the norm and continues challenging our traditional agricultural and food production methods. Food and water scarcity are pressing issues for our future. Erratic weather patterns with extreme droughts and intense but brief downpours cause soil compaction and runoff instead of water absorption. And this runoff carries pollutants into the oceans, leading to oxygen-depleted areas in coastal dead zones. The loss of seagrass beds and coral reefs exacerbates the problem by reducing the coastal area's ability to absorb heat and maintain cooler temperatures. And this cycle of degraded ecosystems and increased coastal water temperatures further complicates future weather patterns and threatens our very food supply from the oceans. Extreme heat intensifies storms and droughts, posing challenges to future water supplies. Droughts lead to concentrated pollutants, algae blooms, and bacterial growth, threatening clean drinking water. Heavy downpours increase the risk of pollutants entering our water supplies, and our infrastructure is ill-equipped to handle these extremes, with pipes and water plants unable to handle the volume of water and increased pollutants and microbial growth. As you swelter through this heat wave, realize that when this is more of the norm, it's going to dramatically impact your natural resources in a way that will be difficult for many to recover from. I would encourage you to ensure that you have water set aside to carry you through prolonged outages or boil orders. Make sure that you can filter and purify your water to make it drinkable, and make sure that you have food set aside to carry you through these periods. Whether you're watching this video in the news today comfortably in your air-conditioned home, or you're just struggling to keep cool and breathe, what's playing out in the first week of summer in Texas and the South should be setting off some pretty loud alarms for you. We're moving away from the usual norms, and these extreme weather patterns, which last for more extended periods, will become the new norm. And that's going to challenge our infrastructure, our health, our natural resources, from the water we drink to the food we eat. And if there ever was a time to prepare for an uncertain and unstable future, that time is now. Things are changing. And as I always say at the end of the video, I know this content is heavy, but you know me, I'm not an alarmist, but as I look at what's playing out in this first few weeks of this summer, if this is an indicator, and we've talked about this several times on the channel over the last few months, what has been predicted based on the El Nino switch, which is already happening, and the other heat extremes that we're beginning to see, and we'll release videos on this over the next few weeks, my encouragement is to buckle up. We've done some videos on staying cool in the summer, and if the power grid continues to be strained, I think we're going to begin to see more and more anomalies of grids going down in different areas. So prepare for this is all I'm trying to say. As always, stay safe out there.